What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from the band Ghoul, entitled Dungeon Bastards. This is released on Tankcrimes Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Creepsylvania, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very thrashy, conceptual, surf-influenced style of death metal. Yeah. Ghoul are in a complete league of their own when it comes to their look, their sound, their stage shows, their live appearances. They are just an incredibly unique band. I really have enjoyed everything that Ghoul have put out throughout the majority of their existence. From their early 2000s releases with albums like We Came for the Dead and Maniacs, to where in the later 2000s, I believe they really fine-tuned their sound with albums like Splatter Thrash and Transmission Zero. I mean, this is a band that has a very distinctive look to them. I mean, if you've ever seen how Ghoul look, they pretty much have bags over their faces. They basically look like people that are related to Jason Voorhees in a sense. You can only really see their eyes. The lyrical content is very conceptual, very horror themed. The music is very influenced by crossover thrash, death metal, surf rock. It's just stuff that pops up in bits and spurts, and you can tell that those types of musical influences are very evident in their sound. And they probably put on one of the best live shows you will ever see in your entire life. I had the privilege of getting to see this band twice last year. Once with a tour with Phobia and Necrofilth, and then again for the Housecore Horror Film Festival. I mean, their stage presence is just insane, not just in how they handle themselves as musicians and performers, but the fact that they incorporate practical effects when it comes to using props, characters, blood, throwing shit into the audience. It's just nuts. I mean, I wore a White Full of Hell t-shirt the first time I saw Ghoul, and the blood stains from that show are still there to this day. I have really no intentions of trying to get them off. That's a great memory of seeing them live. But it's been a while since we had heard an actual full length from them, because after Transmission Zero, this band had kept themselves relatively busy, putting out a bunch of EPs, a split with Cannabis Corpse called Splatterhash. They did an EP of cover songs, including a cover of Fearless Iranians from Hell's Blow Up the Embassy. That was a fucking incredible cover. Local San Antonio hardcore, definitely representative for them to do that cover. And a 10-inch called Hang 10. Quite interesting to say that, but anyway. Ghoul are back, and we have their fifth full-length entitled Dungeon Bastards. It's 10 tracks, and it clocks in at around 35 minutes in length, and pretty much from the minute this album starts to the minute it's over, you can tell that you're going to be in for another interesting thrill ride when it comes to a Ghoul record. These guys are pretty much all killer, no filler. These guys are so much fun to listen to, and they bring another wildly lavish sort of story when it comes to Dungeon Bastards. It's very entertaining, and musically, these guys know exactly what they're doing. Like I said, this band incorporates a lot of elements from different musical styles: crossover thrash, traditional thrash, surf rock, death metal. The opening intro of Ghetto Blasters to songs like Bringer of War and Shred the Dead, it's just sensational. The guitar playing is just really solid and top-notch. I just love the way that everything is incorporated, the way everything sounds. It's just awesome. These guitars sound wonderful here. Pretty much riffs that really get stuck in your head and make you want to just bang your head and go crazy in the pit. Especially riffs that you want to get up front so you can have blood and shit thrown on you. That's the type of entertainment value that I would get from riffs like these. And hearing songs like Blood and Guts and Word is Law, it's just some amazing guitar playing going on here. I love how every riff and lick sounds. It's just awesome. Very good bass guitar sound too, very clear, very audible in the mix, very well handled. Very suitable for the types of riffs that are being done on here. I think the bass guitar has a very wonderful and smooth balance. I love how everything is accompanying for every single track on here. Every song goes by at a really good pace. I love the pace of this record. I love the fact that it doesn't need to be too long or too short. It's just right. I just like how the bass complements itself very well here. The drumming is awesome too. A lot of great thrash beats, a lot of good rolls and fills, a lot of little subtle blast beats here and there, but it's a very solid drum performance overall, and it really keeps the pace going. I love that, especially on the track Shred the Dead. I just love the pacing of that track very much. Some of the lengthier tracks on here, like I want to say the closing track, Abominox. Just some really good drum work going on that track, and even to some of the quicker tracks like Ghoul Lunatics, Bringer of War, just some really great drumming to be heard on those tracks. And when it comes to the vocals, it's pretty much the 1-2 punch of a traditional Ghoul release. You get some very well-spoken sort of shouts, really good thrash sort of hardcore vocal type of things going on in the choruses and the hooks. I just think it's really awesome, and you get the guttural vocals that sound really nasty and dirty. I love that inclusion. The spoken word parts that show up in bits and pieces, like I want to say on this track Guitarmageddon, I think that's some pretty entertaining stuff, and it only adds to the wild concepts of a band like Ghoul. But the dual vocal attacks that are going on here with this record, Digester, Cremator, they handle themselves very well here with their vocal work. It is just so entertaining to hear hear these two shout off at each other in the way that they do, and to hear the shouted vocals just adds all the more fun to it. So overall, this is another incredibly fun Ghoul record. Ghoul are... You really truly haven't lived unless you had the experience of listening to a Ghoul record, and Dungeon Bastards is no different. I honestly don't know whether I like this one more than I did Transmission Zero. I think it's going to get to that point where I like it more than Transmission Zero. I really think this is a fantastic record from first minute all the way to last. It has so much replay value going for it. It is definitely probably going to be one of the best records of this year as far as death and thrash is concerned. And if you are a fan of Ghoul, you will find something to enjoy tremendously with a record like Dungeon Bastards. It is just so much fun. If I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Shred the Dead, the title track, Ghoul Lunatics, Word is Law, and I want to say the closing track, Abominox. Really solid stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Tankcrimes Bandcamp page where you can stream this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can buy it digitally, and I will also link you to where you can purchase physical copies. It is available on CD and 12-inch vinyl. The version that I got is the In the Dark variant, because before they announced pre-orders, they put out a limited version that was just Ghoul in the Dark. No album name, no album cover art. It was just thrown up on a whim, very limited copies. And I really haven't tested it out yet, but it is a glow-in-the-dark vinyl color. I believe that if you put it up to enough light and you play it, it is blue. It turns blue. But it sounds very good. It is a very great sounding record. Tankcrimes is always consistent with as a record label when it comes to their records and how everything sounds. And this packaging is altogether awesome. Really great album cover art. Back of the cover here with the band members in question. Very badass. Gatefold, you have a board game. Very cool board game concept on the album cover. I believe the Die Hard comes with the game pieces, if I'm not mistaken. Really nice touch with the tombstones. You have the guys from Guar in there. You have Jim Kanya, aka Jim Sadist of Nonslaughter. Very classy of these dudes to do that. The band members in cartoon form. Band members on this lyric sheet here. This is just such an awesome gatefold. I love the packaging done with this. So let me show you the album again. This is Dungeon Bastards by Ghoul. This is released on Tankcrimes Records. Go support this. Go buy this. They recently did the tour with Carcass and Crowbar and Night Demon and I don't know who else, but Ghoul were probably the best band of the whole bunch. If I had to give this a score, I would give this a very strong 9 out of 10. Very memorable and entertaining Ghoul record. That is the norm for a Ghoul record. These guys are a fucking blast. So if you happen to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think and how you feel about it and how you think it compares to previous Ghoul records. Are any of you guys into Ghoul? Do you have a favorite Ghoul record? Have you seen them live? Let me know what you think. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until next time, Armil out.